Okay, next project. I didn't think I was gonna go crazy on this, but it's turning out to be more complicated than I thought, but maybe it'll be awesome and fun. We're gonna find out. Well, what we're doing is, I bought one of those Tesla Cybertrucks. Thinking about it for a long time and finally decided, yep, I want to do it. And it's quite a switch. I used to have a deleted diesel, believe it or not. I bought it that way. And well, we no longer had the camper that we towed with it, so the truck didn't have a purpose in life. We were still in the market for a different vehicle in general, but I didn't like the other EVs because I don't think they could do what I wanted. I wanted something bigger. The Tesla is finally big enough to do that. Anywho, who cares? Well, you know, because people have made that whole EV idea political, it's fun to me. I've gotten rolled coal a few times on me going down the road, which is hilarious. I thought it was funny. I don't care, but you know, I just thought it'd be fun to do a prank that might make people on either side of the liking or disliking EVs get a chuckle. So here we are. What am I going to do? I'm going to put fake smokestacks in the bed that are easily removable, and they actually blow smoke with the remote control inside the truck. And the secondary prank is going to be, if I don't feel like blowing the smoke into the stacks, you can pop the stacks off. I'm going to use this huge Bluetooth speaker, which if you'll check my channel, earlier I did a video on upgrading this to a lithium battery using 18650s. So anywho, this is very loud, and I made a video that I'm going to use this old projector I used to have, old LED projector that has its own internal battery, to play a video that I edited up that's white flashing lights and has the sound of heavy-duty electrical arcing. So you can tell your buddies or somebody you want to show off the truck to, hey, look, you want to see how it works? Watch this. I can open the cover with my phone, something like that. And then, you know, when you walk up to it and you're messing with your phone, all of a sudden smoke starts pouring out. You hear heavy-duty arcing and white lights flashing in the back end. I don't know, for some reason I'm the kind of person that just thinks that would be hilarious. So that's what we're fiddling with. So this already works. That thing can project Bluetooth for its sound out over to the speaker, so that takes care of that. An old laying around Samsung S8 phone has Smart View on it, which the projector accepts. So you can cast wirelessly from that phone to this projector to start the video remotely, which sends its sound over to the big speaker. So theoretically, once you set everything up right, I'm trying to take this old smoke machine over here that has problems and adapt it to a new style remote control thing that was on Amazon for about $15. So then you have the remote control for the smoke to start the smoke, and with the phone you can start the video, which will be the flashing white lights and the arcing sounds, etc. And then if you're going down the road and this stuff is in smokestack formation instead, you'll have a remote control inside the vehicle. So in case you didn't know, Cybertrucks can put out 120 or 240 to the bed. There's two outlets back there, even when you're going down the road. So this will be powered by, I can turn that on and off on the screen in the car. Turn the 120 on, you got to give this thing, I don't know, 5 minutes to heat up. But then once you're heated up, anytime I feel like sending smoke out the stack, I can just press one of the buttons. I think that'd be good fun. And then, how am I going to do that with the stacks? Well, the plan is, I had these parts laying around. I think these were from my dust collection system in the house that I made out of 3-inch PVC pipes and whatnot. Were leftover bits and pieces. But anyway, this was down in my shed that fits this. So I'm going to make these be the stacks, paint them black. These will be fixed in the bed somehow, but easily removable. And you just slip the stack on it when the tonneau cover is rolled up. And then when you want to put it in closed tonneau cover position, you just pull the stacks out, throw them in the bed, and everything closes up and you're done. So that's the plan. Now I got to figure it out. I did get a spare tire kit for the Cybertruck, so that takes up, but it sits in the front of the bed. So I'm going to make a wooden platform that goes over, just a thin, no weight bearing capacity, just something to make a cover over the tire that these will somehow attach to. This is just barely going to be there strong enough to hold all the pieces from flopping around if you decide to get on the pedal, because in case you didn't know it, Cybertrucks and EVs in general can accelerate very fast if you want to. And I don't feel like all this stuff getting smashed up on the tailgate when I get my foot into the pedal. So that's where we're at. I've already measured this board partly and measured the length that I need, so you'll see. We make the wooden platform, let's get that smoke machine working, and then we'll figure out how to mount it all and lay it in there and test it out. Well, looky what I found in my stash of goods. I found the hooded male end that I needed. This is a computer extension cord, I think. That should be the right plug. Ah, yeah. So, methinks the thing to do is simply to cut off this cord, because I know what goes where, and solder it onto this one in the way that we need. Shrink tube it all done. And I'm not doing anything to modify this. You either plug in the, wired one when you want to use it that way, if you want to use it that way, or you plug in the wireless one to work with this. That's the plan. Now that I'm not going to be in here messing with hot stuff myself, I think I'm going to screw this all back together. Actually, I won't. I'm going to leave it just like it is, haul it out in the garage, and let's see if it makes smoke, just to make sure it works at all, because it's been a long time since I had it out and fooled with it. Anybody else get nervous when it's time to start cutting cords? I mean, I gotta commit. That's what I gotta do, just commit. We're cutting this off and we're soldering this on, and we should be set, right? Well, let's just quit crying about it and make it happen. I mean, if I blow this thing up, wow, it was only about $13 for the experiment, but I do actually think it's going to work. We're going to find out. It's funny how cheap I am and how much I hoard things. I think that this cord came from an auction that I was going to get pallet racking, shelving. Super cheap. You had to disassemble it yourself and haul it off at an auction. And there was some, like, if I'm already going, I'm going to look at the other items. I think there was just a box, a big box, like a stupidly large box of random 110 volt extension cords and PC cords and whatnot. And I have actually surprisingly used that a bunch. So you have the regular PC cords, right? Like this thing, right? The other end's your 110 cord. We can get these free all the time. And they're 14 gauge, I think. What does it say on there? 18 gauge wires, 18 AWG. Anyway, you can cut this end off, and then it's replacement cord for anything. Like most of your little shop tools and hand drills and stuff like that, this can easily handle the current that those tools need. And you can get these free all the time. Or when you get rid of a PC or another appliance that uses them, just start your own hoard pile. Comes in handy. Just saying. It's very good to have a stash. I think the trick of it is you must be organized about it. Because if you can't find anything, then forget it. Gotta have a labeled box of this kind of stuff. And I'm getting a little nervous because those are small wires. Know what I mean? That doesn't look like that's supposed to be 110 volt. It is only running 4 amp max. And I know the relay in here said 120, 240. Man. Well, I guess if we blow it up, we blow it up. I just don't know how the new ones work. If they have made this remote control part a lower voltage setup, that there's a board in the machine, right, that has its own built-in relay, so the power never leaves the main unit and just a small voltage or signal comes out to this thing, and this basically acts like a switch and sends the signal back in, but it's not actually 120 volt like the old one was. I don't know. I don't have any way of knowing. I know the relay in here was 120 volts, so I don't know how you could engage the relay if you weren't sending 120 in. I know the old machine needed 120 out to trigger the other mechanism, so assumptions are being made. Look at that, I nicked it. What a doofus. Try that again. Well, just, why is it so tough? It's not going to be enough wire to get soldering or something done on it. Come on, faster. Come on. Well, you don't need to stand there and watch me strip wire, so let me get that stripped. All right, let's leave that for a minute and go see if the smoke machine's warmed up enough, if it's gonna work. Smells like something's hot. Does that count? Oh yeah, the light went out. Well, that's a bad sign. We got nothing. Come on, little fella. Well, there you have that problem. And the pump's not even trying to run. Let me get something to tap it with. Come on, buddy. No. All right. I think a long time ago when I first got this, I had to play this game. I got to figure out how to flush it out for whatever juices in there has been dried up all this time. Hey, the light went out again. Oh. Oh. You might be all right. Hey, it's backdrafting in here. Supposed to be blowing that out of the garage, you rotten machine. And you gotta let the record show, now that I think about it, I didn't ever buy the commercial juice. I think somebody said online in some forum, I think you can make a mixture of plain old glycerin from, you know, the pharmacy aisle at Walmart or whatever, just glycerin and water, distilled water. I think that was it. And you can make your own smoke machine smoke. So I'm pretty sure that's what's in there. And I know this is capable of putting out more smoke than this, so maybe it's just still thinking about it. It is about 35 degrees out today too, so it's probably not really appreciating the heat up procedure. I don't know why you hear that pump run for a second and then I think it's still running, but you don't hear it. Like that's just leftover juice. That's not me pressing a button. So it's kind of dumb. Maybe the new ones work better. This one does give a puff of smoke when you're not asking for it sometimes, just cooking the last bit from the last pulse in there. Now I'm pressing the button. Anyway, I'll keep messing with it. Well, this is a preliminary experiment not looking good. Just to see if the smoke is, oh, maybe it is good. Okay. Okay. Maybe that's not too bad. I was gonna put two of those tubes together so the stream of smoke gets just forced to be split between them. I don't know, I gotta make some kind of divider, but the front of that gets hot. Obviously you don't want the truck catching on fire, so for real. But I think that'll work. Somehow we can make a little divider and still leave an air gap there. And sure, there'll be a little poof of smoke that might get out in the back in the tonneau cover area. I don't think it matters. But I'm pretending I'm pulling out from a light. I think it's gonna work just fine. All right. Let's get to soldering those wires and see if we can make the remote control do it. So that was dumb. Thankfully I didn't hook it up yet, but I said, I want to check again. I'm nervous. So the wife's an electrical engineer. Not that I needed her for this, but look, my old blind eyeballs did not read that correctly. My nervousness was founded. Now we got problems. That says 12 volts DC. Well, I guess the new machines must send 12 volts up here to this to power the board and stuff. What for? And then, right, then the remote control flips the switch, which completes that acts just as a switch. It closes it, and then inside the machine it gets the 120 sent to the goodies to make the smoke. So our old machine, 120 volts, went up the extension cord. I don't think that's the case on the new ones. I think they put out 12 volts, probably because somebody managed to pinch that cord and electrocute themselves or something silly. Who knows, but no bueno. That is not going to work. I guess I should have smelled a rat. Well, I did when I saw how thin those wires were. I was like, those don't look like 18 gauge wires. And obviously if that operates on 12 volts, there ain't no 12 volts up here, so that ain't gonna work. Okay, no harm, no foul. She's back together. I didn't modify the inside, so that's all gonna work like it should. It reminded me of a funny story though, where this came from. Well, anyway, the failure here was about $13. But the story behind this is funny anyways. This smoke machine, we stopped at a flea market. My wife and a buddy and myself were driving back from Florida on a whim, saw a sign for a flea market. We stopped in there and got this thing. Then we're staying at a hotel halfway back. So we stopped in there, got a room, decided let's just have a cocktail and hang out. It was early. We did that. Let's mess with that smoke machine, see if we can figure out what's wrong with it, because we had nothing else to do. Well, we drug it out, and for some reason, we decided we're going to mess with this. I think there was like a little coffee nook in the hotel hallway. For whatever reason, that's the plug that we chose to use. And we got out there and we're trying to see if it was going to make noise or buzz or anything. And the tank was empty, but there must have been enough residual in there. All of a sudden, it gave a woof. And I mean, we filled that hallway up. And we panicked, unplugged the thing, and ran in the hotel room and shut the door. And it didn't set off the smoke alarm, but man, if anybody else came out in that hallway, we thought for sure we were going to get thrown out. Anyway, that was a good time. That was my buddy Ken. If you're listening, if you're watching this, Kenny, that's for you. All right, these things are like $40 with the remote control nowadays on Amazon. So the solution is, I think the prank is worth it. We're just going to get a new 110 volt smoke machine that already comes with a remote. It was worth a try. Tried to be cheap. Sometimes you gamble and lose. At least we got the original smoke machine working just fine, just like it was, and we'll have a new one for the car project. Problem solved. Get out the checkbook. So for $50, I think $54 total for this, plus 32 ounces of smoke schmutz. I think this is gonna be way better. Check it out. Smoke control comes with it. One little pokey poke, except it's not hot. Well, hold on, it's heating up. Isn't it? Maybe I spoke too soon. How do you know when it's ready? Just. Okay, so for $54, I think total, for 32 ounces of smoked schmutz and a machine, boop. Check it out. That's a lot of smoke that'll be coming out of the stack, and then it cuts off instantly. When you go to the next stoplight and you want to act like you're still going to take off, just hit the smoke shooting out the stack, click it off. It's gonna be great. All right, so next up, I got to make a diverter chute that will, I guess I got some flashing material. I'm gonna just try to bend it up and make, you know, a square orifice that can sit in front of that stream where half of it goes into one tube, half goes in the other. I got to make up that diverter mechanism that then will join up with the two flexible tubes and go up to the two hard plastic pipes, which I need to clean and paint black. All right, let's get on it. Okay, so we're back at it. With all these bits of leftover whatnots and who's-its. So the new plan is take a couple of these flexible aluminum things, put this hose clamp on it. Probably the hose clamp. Anyway, I'm getting ready to squeeze them and try to make this union pinch together all the way over here so that no smoke really escapes, at least as little as possible. So I'm going to destroy these two things that used to be vents because they have no purpose in life. And we replaced them for some reason, or I don't know where I got them. Anyway, that's the plan. Pinch this into two square-ish shapes. So the fog will go right here, get split. The other end is where the flexible lines will start, and then they'll go over to these, and the stacks will be, here's the flexible tube coming in, the stack will come out the top. This will get mounted down to a board. All right. Okay, I know from experience, when you go to squeezing on these tubes, even for their intended purposes, trying to clamp them to something, the stupid, just snap together seam gives loose. So I'm gonna try, just for fun, to see if you can use a Luma weld and weld this thin stuff. See what happens. I have no idea. But if I only mess with the end, even if I mess it up, I guess, theoretically, I can still mess with the other end. Oh, going right in there. I'm not gonna do much. That's enough. That ain't coming apart. Let me switch to the other end. Well, yes. Yeah, look at that. Well, well, well. Yeah, I'm gonna get one on the other ends because one end's gonna get squeezed into the two square shapes ish. The other end's gonna have hose clamps holding, hopefully I have right size hose clamps or zip ties, whatever. The plastic tube slid over this, but I know that that'll squeeze it hard enough to separate the end. So let's just go ahead and Luma weld both ends. Stainless steel brush. That's the key, man. Oh, awesome. It actually went super fast. I like that. Ooh, that got liquid. See that? Too much. doke. Almost caved that little spot in, but I didn't. Good enough. Anyway, you don't need to watch me do the second one. Let me get that going. Yeah, I think I can squish on that without fear. Ooh, that's thin though. Good enough. And that's the second one. Same deal. I don't think that's coming apart ever again. All right. I don't know if what I was saying was making any sense, but that's what I'm talking about. Whoop. So the smoke machine will sit here, and the stream will get, hopefully, split between those two and go out the pipes. That's the plan. So I got it all kind of whoopity schnuts together, held together. I don't think I'll have any trouble with those ends. I don't think I need hose clamps. We're not talking, I mean, if they pop loose, it's not the end of the world. It's like, so what? The truck bed gets filled up with Halloween smoke. Doesn't matter. Plus, something bad would have to happen to get that to pop loose. Anywho's, you get the idea. One's gonna go that way, one's gonna go this way, over to the Ys and out the stacks. So let me see if I can squeeze things together and test this thing. Well, there it is. Imagine those are twin smokestacks. The light says it's hot and ready. Let's send it. What do you think? I think that's a winner. Okay, I put the divider, I think, in a better spot. And I turn the fan on. Now let's see what we get. Green light. Little paint. Oh yeah. All right, I'm changing my mind. I think I like that better. I think that's where the stacks are gonna go, because it's just easier logistically. So open this thing. I think if I rework this, put them right there, make some kind of a wood base, I think everything will fit in here, and then the tonneau cover is only open, you know, a crack. Still got the cover open for the outlet, so that'll be easy. But then the plan is you can just pull these tubes out, that the white wide on there be held solid, and you pull the tubes out. But I don't have to worry about them coming out on the highway, I don't think. Plus I could reach them from back here. The arch over there on the side of the vehicle is pretty high, so you can't really stand there on the side and reach over and do stuff. You'd have to climb in the bed, and I don't feel like climbing in the bed every time. So this is the newest thinking scheme. Well, the old brain is refusing to lock on a good way to do this, so whatever. I cut some wedges and then miscut some wedges and then recut some wedges, and yeah, I decided on this angle for sticking out the back, and I decided 4 or so, or 3, I don't know, L brackets to hold this thing down. So we're manufacturing L brackets now. Do. Oh yeah, fire and hole. Impossible to do one-handed. I'm gonna try, just for your viewing pleasure. Boop. You get the idea. Flip them over and repeat. Bada bang. Now that I look at the 2x6s, I don't think 8 of these are fit, so probably gonna be 6, but whatever. This is just a, you know, L channel aluminum, and I cut it in the metal saw. All right, here we go. It's looking crazy. I'm going to use some plumber's tape I cut the board, it exactly fits. I tested it so it wedges in there tight, can't go anywhere. These are pinned down now from the underside. Everything's recessed in the plywood, so there's nothing sticking down that'll rub or poke into the, you know, bed of the truck. So anyway, now I just gotta, this is over by the outlet in general. I just need to pin it down somehow. And well, it does get below freezing around these parts, so this can only be an above weather fun fest. But anywho, I'm gonna put a hoop over this, strap it down somewhere like that. This is somewhere in that region, and that should be it. Then you can lift the whole thing in one piece and take it to where you're, flop it in there and flop it back out when you don't feel like being in prank mode. So anyway, let me get this stuff pinned down, and then we'll get to testing finally. All right, there it is. See how the board goes? The wedge is in there. It can't slide that way because the wedge, and it can't come back because the tailgate's against it. So that's solid. The pipes, the tonneau cover holds them in, kind of, just a barely little bit of pressure. You can still pull them out. And then when you want to de-rig, just take them off. So right now, I got the power outlet on the truck on, but it's not, it's gonna take a while. It's about 33 degrees out here, so. Anywho, whoop. That's what it looks like. I think it's gonna look good with smoke shooting out the back. We'll see here in a minute. There it is. Yes. I like it. Okay, just to show you the de-rigging operation. You just walk over, hit the button, get the tonneau cover up a second. Tube number 1 pulled out, tube number 2. You couldn't see from the app, but from the app I can turn off that outlet. So I don't have to turn the switch on the smoke machine off. I can just turn off the electricity to the plug itself. Let's rig for nonsense. Tube number 1. Tube number 2. Just gonna lightly close the tonneau cover against it. Like that. Close that. Now you just turn the electric outlet on the app. You're ready for nonsense. Where's the general lease at? Who's this?
Look up, you can see out the roof.
Okay, so this is a demonstration of the accidental Cybertruck's on fire. All right, let me see here. So you pretend, oh yeah, you guys want to see a Cybertruck? Check it out. I can make all my lights come on and everything. Oh, uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. What's it doing? Check out the smoke. Yeah, that's with the tonneau cover all the way open and the projector moved up on the spare tire. That looks even better because that looks like a hot mess. What we got in here is just a Bluetooth speaker, a projector down there, controlling a cell phone with screencast. The projector is transmitting Bluetooth sound to the speaker, and there you have it. I just hit the remote control on the smoke, and bada bing. Thanks for watching. Have fun with your projects.